So I've been invited in for a meeting, discovery meeting, to meet the CEO. What are some real howlers when people come in?
It's coming in late for a start,
Okay.
so that we track everything, right? So I'm the last person that anyone meets, really, and that's by design because I'm that sort of classic entrepreneur. I get very excited very quickly, and I can get pretty hyped, and so I've actually learnt that about myself and said, well, if I'm the last person that everyone meets, and we can speak to this person. It can be, yourself and Phoebe that kind of pick up the phone initially, and you've got your view, and then they go to the compliance, the management team, the support folk. They actually score them and send it to me, and we get franchisees to speak to prospective franchisees. So it's a mutual interview all the way through because having been again in the other person's shoe, myself having bought a franchise, you are interviewing and scoring every single person that you meet along that journey. And you're thinking, well, how many rings until they pick up the phone and all of that stuff? And did they respond to my email? Did they not respond to my email? So you're scoring, but actually, equally, we're doing the same thing. And then, they'll come to me and I'll say, right, okay, here are all the positives and all the negatives. And then one of the things that really drive me nuts now is when someone does turn up sort of half an hour late and think that that's okay, because I'm thinking, well, is that how you would take care of my mother? And I think really understanding that, and sometimes obviously there's genuine reasons. The other howlers that there might be is just how someone behaves with people, and we often sort of look at that. I find that really important. When you go to a restaurant with somebody and how they treat the waiter, and it's all of that. Having been the waiter myself, actually, it's really about sort of understanding that and thinking about, well, is it just, yeah, great, I'll have another glass of wine, or is it eye contact, thank you very much, and cool, I'm going to stop talking, and because there's someone else here, and just the respect that everyone in the team might get, and for everything from are you parking in two bays to all of that. So I think there's that kind of mutual tracking that happens throughout, and it is really interesting because we get one crack at this, right? Both parties get one crack at this until everyone's invested, and so it's really important to make that right decision. I think there are a lot of franchisors that just kind of, yes, you're funded and you can crack on, great. And that's okay, if that works for them, and hopefully that kind of gives them at least a 50% kind of success ratio. But I really feel it's, having been in the other person's shoes and having invested everything I had in a home care franchise, I really feel it is so important for us to try our best to get it right. And you're not going to always get it right, but sometimes, you can be your own worst enemy, and you just need someone else to say, hey, maybe you should do this independently, or not at all. And just having that. So the other, and it happens less and less now, but when someone slips through the net and they come to you and you're like, well, actually, you're not funded properly, and you've got enough to buy the franchise, but you don't have enough to run a business. And they're sort of often problems that I think, well, you have to be reasonable, responsible, and ethical. I feel really passionately about ethical franchising. And so being an ethical franchisor is not about you can pay my bill, it's about you can survive, you can thrive.